back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving this like a spiritual cleanse, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on a leg.
Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out a campground in Oklahoma called Winding Stair. Now this campground is kind of cool because it is actually along a scenic byway. So if you come here, you can stay and have a really nice place along the byway to kind of get out and explore. There's some hiking, there's some scenic vistas, and we're in the mountains and it is gorgeous. Now as you can see, this one does have a camping fee, but it's only $8. And what's this? $4? That is for anyone who has their golden age access or senior access discount pass. Now sometimes just having a park pass in general can get you a discount. However, this one is specific to the seniors, so always check out the kiosk and read what it says, because in the famous words of Forrest Gump, you never know what you're gonna get. That's right. So right here is where you actually pick up your pay envelope as well and then fill it up with your little money. They do not take cards and they do not do reservations for this campsite online. You can then put it into this box right here, which I'm gonna be honest, it's a little sketchy. There's duct tape on the bottom, but at the same time, you know, just keep your little tab, and I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's where you do that. This little pay kiosk as soon as you come in right here. And then also check out the other portions of this kiosk, because it did say right here that we're in bear country, so you're going to want to be bear aware. Right across from the kiosk is where we find our bathrooms. We have vault toilets at this one. There are no showers, no running water, anything like that. So, you know, just your basics. Right over here, we're not going to go in there because we've seen vault toilets a million times on the channel, but there is another kiosk right over here with some more information. Oh, super helpful. Visitor information stations. Yes, yes, and yes. We may have to go see if one of those is open today. They've kind of been hit or miss lately because of all the things that have still been going on in the world, so we'll check it out. But then it also has a Cedar Lake recreation area that has some swimming and then also some more hiking trails, so that's something worth checking out. And then right over here, it has some really cool information about the different things in this area. For example, there's an Indian Nation scenic area. There's also the Scenic Byway that we're already on, and there is an arboretum. So that is all located right here, kind of central in the camp for you to see, so that you can make this base camp and then go out and explore. But enough of that. You guys want to see the campsite, so let's do a little drive around. Now, I'm sure you can see, but this campsite right here is huge. It has 2 picnic tables, a prep station, a grill, and a fire ring, and of course a lantern hook. Now, I will say this, the tables out here are wooden, but they're thick wood, so they're not sagging and dragging, if you know what I mean. But this campsite has enough room for multiple vehicles, and I didn't see anything saying that you couldn't have multiple vehicles. So that's a big bonus. But this campsite right here is not the only layout. They do have several others, and all of them have tent pads also. So you could literally come out here with a big rig or a tiny guy like me and fit in anywhere. Not to mention, tons of shade, so you can pick a more sunny spot or a more shady spot depending on what you're looking for. So that's kind of nice also. I will say, however, that this right here, the taller grass, this isn't even the tallest grass that's around here. There's actually some that is much taller over here. It's been raining a lot, so they probably just haven't come out to maintain it, but that's something to think about. Because, you know, things lurk in the tall grass. I'm just gonna leave that there so you can do your own imagining. But in contrast to the grass, you have the asphalt here to park on, and then like this chip surface for your actual campsite, and then also for the tent pad back here. So this is nice. But I left the van running so we could continue on this little adventure because we're not done yet. We're gonna go look at some other campsites and see what they look like also. Let's go see some of the layouts.
Turn right.
Okay, we made it to Site 13, and Site 13 is actually a pull-through spot. So, just to kind of give you an idea, I am parked right in the middle of the site. That's where the picnic table and the fire hook. Now, look at this, guys. We are walking. We are walking. We are still walking. Oh my goodness, look how big this site is. So, all of this, and then on the other side of the van, all of this also. You could definitely bring a huge RV out here and set up. So that is really cool. And I did notice there are a couple of water spigots kind of throughout camp. I don't know if they're functioning or not. They looked a little iffy, but you know, they do have them. And then something else. If you see it down, you can burn it. So they leave these little piles so that you can kind of pick through and figure out what you would like to put in your campfire. So any of this is safe to use. And then this is what the layout for this site looks like right here. And then look at all of these beautiful, beautiful trees. This place is really nice, guys. In addition, they do have trash pickup that you can actually use out here, so there is no reason for you to leave things at your campsite. And as always, remember, leave no trace and leave it nicer than you found it. So if you see some trash, just pick it up. That way we can have nice places like this for many, many years to come. Because these places are affordable and beautiful and pretty much out here in the middle of all of the beauty of the world. I think that there is actually a scenic viewpoint that is just outside of camp, so we're gonna go look for that really quickly too. I'm not sure where it is, but I did see a sign for it, so let's go. I think it's kind of crazy that we're the only ones out here right now because this is a really nice campground, but I am here kind of during the middle of the week, so maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure, but I will definitely be keeping this on my Oklahoma list because this is nice, guys. Haha, there it is, the Emerald Vista. Now I think that you can actually walk from camp to it, but I'm not sure because I don't know how far it is. Okay guys, this is why it pays to read the signs right here. It says here that this beautiful piece of land in front of us in the 1930s actually had no commercial value. So the lumber company that was sitting on it actually ended up selling it to the only bidder that they had, which was the U.S. Forest Service. They purchased 48,000 acres of this gorgeous land for $1.42 an acre. Now, it looked very different then. The reason it looked so different was because the lumber companies had pretty much ravaged this entire area. And then what they hadn't ravaged was actually consumed in wildfires because they didn't know how to maintain it. So the land was just bald looking, and it looked like it was a barren wasteland. And the Forest Service saw the potential in this property and actually brought it back to life. And that's what we're seeing now, all of this lush green amazingness. That is why it's important, guys, to read the signs. Wow, this is gorgeous. Now also it says here that Sugarloaf is the little peak that we see in the distance back there. Okay, and then we can also see the Black Forest Mountain, and that is what this huge cap over here is. Now, as you're coming up here, there are a few signs posted saying that if it's a dense fog or it's freezing conditions, that this road is closed off and you can't come up here. And I can kind of see why, because the road kind of does this all the way to the top, and it would make it very hard to actually get up here safely. There's even little bumps in the road that they've created to keep you from having issues of going too fast and then off the mountain you go. But wow, guys, wow. I'm so happy that we came up here to check out this campground today and to see this gorgeous view. It is amazing up here, and the air just smells so fresh. Okay guys, we have a second overlook, and this one is just a couple of miles down the road from the Winding Stair Campground. Now it is hot out here today, so I'm gonna leave the van running so we can keep some air circulating. But this is called the Shawnee Ridge, and it is gorgeous. A little bit lower in altitude than the other one, I think. I'm not sure, but it kind of looks that way. It looks like we're a little bit lower set versus the huge mountains in the distance. So this is the Shawnee Ridge. And this stop actually has a little map here, shows us where we are at. So we started off up here at this interpretive pullout. Now we have made it to this one. It looks like there are a few more of them on the way to the west end of the Scenic Byway. The byway starts off in Mena and goes all the way to Talimena. So one of these days I'm going to have to do a special video just for the entirety of the road. But for right now, let's just take in these views. And again, while we're out here, everything smells so fresh. It smells like pine. It's gorgeous. And so far, I've been on the road for about 45 minutes, and I've only seen a couple of cars pass me in regards to this scenic byway. So as of right now, it's not super crowded. I can only imagine during fall though, this place is packed because all of the trees would be turning, and then you have these viewpoints of all of the other turning trees. Keep that in mind, guys. You might want to do that. But for now, back in the van we go, and off to find more things. Now keep in mind, if you're watching this right now and you just thought my front seat looked messy, you are right, it did. This morning it was raining, so I couldn't put things in their places accordingly. the way that I normally do. So everything kind of just got put in a place that I can get to it later. So that's why that looks like that. But enough of that, let's get onto the road. This byway is the one that just keeps on giving. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing a full video of this later. But I just found something that I think is called the Horse Trail or Horse Creek pull-off. It's a picnic area. You can't camp here, but look at this little structure. And what are those? More informational signs. I'm a sucker for them, so let's go check those out. Ooh, it looks like there's 3 of them. Yes! Now, being under this beautiful shade here has its advantages and disadvantages. It is pretty dirty, so it's kind of harder to read these, but it looks like they have tried to clean them off for us. And this is actually the history of Oklahoma and horse thieves right here. Okay, and this one here is about how Indian Territory used to be a paradise for all criminals because there was no law enforcement. So it says here that by the time that judges were actually in this area, they were trying so many cases, tons and tons, because all of the lawless had come to these areas. So picture, if you will, this beautiful area we are now standing in was at one point in time crawling with thieves. They would come here because they could evade law enforcement and get away with stuff. So there's a lot of stories about Oklahoma talking about hidden treasures and things like that. We've been to Robbers Cave, and that was kind of the ongoing thing there, where they said that one of the outlaws hid their things in one of the caves so that nobody would find it. And then people to this day seem to think that there's still treasure in them there hills. So I wonder if there's any out here. Now, in addition to the picnic area, they also have a hiking trail, which is actually open right now. However, we will not be lacing up the hiking boots today for that. That's another video for a different day, and it has been raining a lot. So the trails are pretty slick, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that at this moment. It's all about finding your limits and knowing those. So instead, we're going to hit this road and see what else the Winding Stair campground area has to offer. Now, typically I just do a campground review and leave it at that, but this area is way too beautiful not to show you a few more of the view. Okay guys, we found another one. So let's go see what the Cedar Lake Vista has to offer. Now, these are pretty much back to back to back. So you get tons of viewing points within like a 5-mile span. And this one, you can actually see the water right over here. That's Cedar Lake. I've been wondering what that was. I haven't seen it on any of the boards. And then there it is right there. Yay. Now, there are no markers at this particular pull-off. It's just a beautiful viewpoint. So you can come and check it out. But wow, again, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous places to stop along this path. I mean, how could you not love seeing this? This is amazing. And then off in the distance there, you see, there is the lake. See right there. That's got to be a pretty decently sized lake too. I've been able to see it from all of the different viewpoints. Meanwhile, ew, look at all of these bugs. Yep, it's time for Dimples to get another bath. Thanks, Oklahoma. I mean, the disrespect of the bugs, gosh. Ew. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's, again, part of van life. It gets nasty sometimes. So, back in we go and off to the next one. Whoa, 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 whoa. This one actually snuck up on me. It was on the other side of the road. So I've been exiting off to all of the right-hand sides. This one is on the left. So, yeah, we have another scenic stop. That's why you always have to be paying attention because, yeah, I would have completely missed this one, and it has a completely different view than what we've been looking at. This is the opposite side, and with that comes a lot of wind. So in the distance you can see farmland and patches and pieces where people actually live here. So much wind! So much wind! Woo! Wow. Okay, so the wind really bad up here. Today at least. The three signs that were in front of us were actually talking about the Native Americans in this area, and so I really wanted to make sure that I told you a little bit about those. It talks about the nomadic people and how they kind of went through this area, and they've actually found mammoth bones here that they think might have been linked to some of the earliest people. That is so cool. And while we're taking a moment in this wind, I did want to bring up the dirt. This is the app that I use to find campsites. And so if you look at this, this actually has all the different places on it that you can stop and camp. There's the actual Winding Stair campground. By the time that you guys see this, it will have another review on there. But then it shows on here the Horse Thief Springs campground. Now this is available only to people who are backpacking through, from what I was reading on the sign up there. And then there is another place, which is the Holson Valley Vista. It shows here that this is also a tent dispersed site, and it has one review on there. Now I didn't see anything about that in this area, but there was a crosswalk for hikers, so I'm assuming that's another one of those. And then let's see, here's a Dead Man Gap dispersed, and then a Potato Hill Vista dispersed, and then one last one is Talimena. So we have several different ones along here to look at, and if I find those, then we will definitely feature them in this video as well. And that is why I recommend downloading a couple of the different apps. Now the dirt is my favorite. It has saved me in more than a few pinches when I've been out traveling, and now that they've upgraded and have offline maps, it is so helpful, guys. I definitely recommend it to anyone who is out there who is camping, not just people who are doing van stuff, but if you have a tent as well. It is so helpful. I mean, we were just able to look at that and find out lots of information from other people who have camped in this area, and that is so valuable. So enough of that, let's get back on the road and see if we can't find some of those. Okay guys, we found this narrow road not suited for trailer traffic right here, and it goes down this direction. Now this is the official site of the Dead Man Gap dispersed campsite, and I was reading some of the reviews over on the dirt, and it does say that depending on the conditions, this may or may not be a place that you can pass. Now let me just set the tone for you right now. It's been raining here a lot, and so when I read on the review that there are places that it could easily have water over the road and there are limited places to turn around, I kind of talked myself out of going and checking it out today. The road, this part at least, looks okay, but it is very tiny, so I wouldn't recommend coming down here with a huge trailer for sure. However, we will come back and check this out whenever it's a little bit more dry, because from what I'm seeing on the app, it looks kind of nice. Speaking of rain, ahead of us, the clouds are getting a little bit darker. Now, where I'm at currently, it's still sunny, but it's getting a little dark in the distance over there. Now keep in mind, this morning it was raining, so I was not even expecting the sun. I was expecting more rain. So it has been pleasant being able to explore all this with you guys today in the sun, and I consider it a gift. But as we go further and further, it looks as though we might be back into those lovely rainy conditions, and that's okay. Okay guys, we made it to Panorama Point, and this might be my favorite vista so far. This is gorgeous. You can literally see 3 sides, and there are some signs, but they are overgrown and we're not doing that today. So it's super windy up here because it is one of the highest peaks. So I'm going to show you what the views look like and then kind of talk to you about it inside, because we're not going to be able to hear anything out there. See what I mean? Absolutely gorgeous. Definitely a highlight of being here at Winding Stair. This has been a gorgeous adventure, and I think I want to leave it with one more of these scenic views. I definitely recommend you guys come out to Oklahoma and check out the Winding Stair Campground, and then also the Winding Stair Scenic Byway. Again, this is a beautiful place no matter what time of year that you come, but I can definitely see it being a little bit more crowded during the fall months when the leaves are changing. So plan accordingly. Until next time guys, bye!
Heading back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving this like a spiritual cleanse, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul.